How y'all doing today? My name's Ayin, and today's topic of discussion is going to be Ayin versus Ayin. Ayin versus Ayin. Now, when I'm thinking about this topic, in this manner of what I'm talking about, I'm thinking about the on-screen Ayin versus the off-screen Ayin. And I'm sure many of you deal with the same battles with you versus you all the time. But one of the things that I'm bringing to the forefront, because I'm thinking, look, if I'm having to address this or call some attention to this with myself, other people can benefit from this as well with them versus them in these scenarios. Now, with me, and I'll put myself as the example, this is a real world example. One of the things that I'm finding is with me doing upbuilding, structured, encouraging talks here on this channel and the things that I post on my social media and just trying to be a breath of fresh air, silver lining, a fresh take perspective on things. It's some things that you contend with behind the camera with individuals, such as, give you an example. Now, before I go into this example, I'm going to say I'm actually glad that I've done videos that led up to this on talking about how when you're addressing things with people, calling out certain situations, moving on your way, making the calls that you need to make in whatever situation that you're doing, not everybody's going to be happy. What it comes down to when you're doing healthy things that's for yourself, you just got to accept the fact that other people aren't going to be on board with what you're doing. That's just the reality of it. But one of the things that I found that I'm battling with, or I should say, I've had to address because I was battling with myself on, it was just, man, you got to stay encouraged, you got to stay up building, you're not trying to offer any critiques to people. Because see, unlike what you're seeing on the camera when you're viewing these YouTube videos, no matter how harsh the topic may be that I'm addressing or putting up for discussion, people aren't going to get offended because I'm not talking to you directly. So a person can sit back in the audience and view whatever video that I'm doing, and they're like, yeah, I can see that point. I can see this. And one of the reasons why I say a lot of my videos, hey, take it to yourself. Because this is something that you can do in the privacy of your own home. Don't get it twisted. I know that a lot of people are able to benefit from these videos. And there are some people that's just like, man, yeah, I may be doing this. Let me do some checks and balances to make sure I'm not doing these things to other people. But then there's another percentage of people out there that's like, not talking about me. When you're the main person that needs to address whatever's going on in this video. Now, back to this example that I'm providing. One of the things that I stated that I'm dealing with behind the camera, since I try to be upbuilding and just like I said, a breath of fresh air to everybody, I'm trying to leave that positive impression, even when there's correction needed. And you're dealing with the self-image of what people see on the camera. So when you're giving them things that they may not necessarily be pleased with, you're trying to maintain that integrity and make sure that you're not coming off as a hypocrite in the information that you're providing to some people. For some people, they just don't care. And see, sometimes I forget about that. I forget that people are going to be people and people have their own agendas. So I'm dealing with real world issues as when I turn the camera off. So I forget that these people are still going to be who they are. Doesn't matter that not only I'm on a public front and I'm presenting things the way that I'm presenting them, they're still going to address me the way that they would address me even if I wasn't doing any videos. And this calls for some checks and balances to be put in place. So like a lot of the things that I'm telling you all to do off camera, or when you're watching these videos, how to apply in your own life, I'm having to do it as well. But see, the difference is that I'm having to do, being a public figure, I'm like, well, make sure, when you're giving them this information, you're trying to end it off on a positive front. Some people don't want that. Some people actually use that to bait you in and reel you in more. And one of the things that I found out that I'm having to do is, they're bringing this information along. I'm bringing information along, and they're like, no, but my feelings are hurt. Even though they may not be saying that, but they're feeling that. It's just, you got to go on your way. You got to move on. can't help it your feelings are hurt. But I ain't, yeah, the way that I feel, yeah, you need to move on. I don't have time to sit here to pour this energy up off into you and just build you all back up like how you may feel when you're watching these videos on your own. Move on, man. Ain't got time. And that's how it is dealing with some people. Because, like I said, they're that exhausting. And to kind of give you an example of this as well, my daughter don't know that I use that teddy bear up for my room. I remember one time it was me and my fiance, we were out and about, and it was a person that I really don't know like that. And they were going through some hard times, and it was just like, hey, can we exchange phone numbers? I need somebody to talk to. I need some good people in my life. That's really encouraging. That's really awesome that they felt that they could reach out and have us in that capacity. But it's just like, I can't allow myself to be used like that. Because I don't have the energy. It's one of the reasons why I've talked about why I've started this channel, to be able to reach more people on a wider array of people on a broader spectrum without having to do this hundreds and hundreds of times over and over again. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to have my own relationships off the camera. I'm still going to have my own inner circle that I'm dealing with and how I interacts and deals with people. But being in front of the camera, being a public figure, seeing some of the things that you present to people and some of the things that they may see, they'll try to use you at their disposal. Just like with other things. Just like with me writing a book. I don't know how many times I've been hit up, whether it was on social media or a person stopping me, to either try to join in regards to like YouTube videos, or, hey man, you help me write a book? No, I can't do that. That was very time consuming. It took me years to do that. There's services, there's people who lend their time to doing that. I don't have time to sit up here, proofread all of your stuff, try to help you through with these thoughts and what have you, to try to help you accomplish your goals. This is something that you have to do on your own, or find the ways of doing that, or wait for somebody to offer up those services. So I'm not going to feel guilted into thinking, oh, well, because of how I am with the way I'm trying to present this information, I just want to make sure everything is just wrapped up in a nice little neat bow for everybody. And that's one of the things that I'm seeing. And nothing changes with you getting on the camera or off the camera. People still expect what they expect. People come to the table with their own agendas. I found this even with talking to people. Talking with people that I've talked with regularly off the camera. And it gets into where it's this dumping session. It turns into just like what I state with a lot of the people that I talk about on this channel. When I'm talking about, they're just sessions where they're just dumping a lot up off in your lap. And it's just like, hey, this is your job, fix it. No, that's the reason why I have these videos here. You can see how it applies up to yourself without me talking to you directly, you having your feelings hurt. I don't have a problem giving you direct consultation on whatever you may be talking about, but it's just, I don't have the time or the energy to do that. I can't stop on person after person after person. I mentioned this in one other video when I stated that it'd be crazy me trying to shove down at this time 400 and something videos worth of information down a person's throat. And you have that when you are good natured and people like your vibe, people do want to be around you. People do want more of you. But what are you doing up for yourself? See, one of the reasons why I'm addressing this, one of the reasons why I'm talking about this is because it's like you're still held to that image that they're seeing you on the videos. It's just like, man, well, my feelings were hurt. I didn't feel as inspired because I just got done talking and I was getting some real It's not to come off hypocritical like, well, I'm not following or taking my own advice, but it's just like, hey, look, the way that you dealt with this situation with me, it called for me to do this. So maybe when you left it, you weren't in the most upbuilt way. You didn't see that silver lining because you had to be checked. You overstepped your bounds. I tried taking a passive approach with you. Ayin versus Ayin. It's the same thing on things that you have to do with yourself when it's you versus you. One of the things that I was struggling with was, I want to maintain what I've built, what I've grown into. This image that I have, this positivity, this encouragement. Some people won't let you be encouraging. No matter what you say, people can pull negative away from it. It was one of the other reasons, and well, it's one of the main reasons why I had chose to do this video. I remember talking to an individual. I talked to him. It was for a moment. And the one thing that they walked away from with the conversation was something I didn't even say. And I was just like, how did you get this from what I said? I just told you this 10 different ways from Sunday, and you walked away with it like this. So the way that I had taken it, gotten back to me was like, do whatever you want. I think you personally would have got more out of a video, because for some reason you expected me to soothe and build up that ego. Some people just want the ego stroked. And even when you do that, if it's not stroked the way that they would like it, they're still not pleased. I don't have time for it. So, like I said, people got to do just like what I stated earlier. You're coming here with all of this is not constructive enough. You got to move on. It's something that I've had to deal with, and I know that I'm not the only one. I know that there's a lot of other people dealing with the same thing. They're trying to be this certain type of way, but some people, you can accept others for who they are, but some people can't accept you for what you are. Or they do accept you, but they try to transform and build it and mold it into what they think that you should be or what would be a better you, and that's unacceptable. You versus you. Just like I found, Ayin versus Ayin. That's my 2 cents on it. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on other social media, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram. Obviously, I'm on YouTube. This is where I'm posting my videos at. In the meantime, stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged. I'm Ayin. You have a good one.